If you can learn to use your right arm in the downswing the proper way, you're going to play some pretty daggone good golf. So here's exactly what I mean. There's one big mistake that almost everybody makes. They go to the top of the swing and they want to start throwing with that right arm right away. Well, if you have a ton of lag like this, like the pros, you're not doing this. If you have the club somewhere out here and your lag looks more like that, then you're doing this move the wrong way. So let me go ahead and show you exactly what to do with the right arm step by step. So as I go to the top of the swing, what I want to feel like is my club hasn't really set. Imagine Jon Rahm. Now, it's not going to be that extreme. I know the club is almost going to be fully set with an iron. That's completely fine. But for most people, they want to start throwing that club right away. Feeling like you're Jon Rahm and imagining your right wrist. So we go into what's called extension. So if you make a fist in front of your body like this and you pull your knuckles back towards your elbow, that's extension, and this is flexion. So in the right wrist, the right arm, as you complete the backswing, you want to be moving into the downswing. You want to get more extension, or feel like you're almost like you're taking a motorcycle and you're revving the gas on a motorcycle. That's what you want to feel like you're doing in the downswing. So it's fairly flat, and then in the downswing, I'm letting that action happen, and that's going to actually increase my lag. Now, do about 5 or 6 practice swings of the revving the gas motion, and you'll start to see how that brings that club in with some more lag. It gets the club shallower in the downswing. All good things that you want to have happen. Now, the second piece is the right elbow tuck. And if you feel your elbow here, your funny bone is right on the inside there. That's where if you whack it, it really feels crazy there. Feel like that at the start of the downswing is going toward the golf ball. So in the backswing, I don't care if it flies out away from your body a little bit. There's been some fantastic players, Jack Nicklaus, John Daly. Lots of majors have been won with players whose right arm flies out away from their body, and that funny bone would be pointing back here somewhere. But all those players, as soon as they start their downswing, that tucks in, and all of a sudden that funny bone is driving right toward the golf ball. Now you'll notice when I do that, that shallows out the club. When this funny bone gets in, there's no way to get the club out here like this. If you watch your swing and you see that right arm kind of chicken wing out away from your body, which I see with a lot of players, there's this big gap in here. My funny bone is pointing back there somewhere. If I tuck that funny bone in toward the golf ball, watch how that lays the shaft back in the slot. I have tons of lag, and man, I'm going to hit some really good shots. Those are the first 2 pieces. Now finally, to pull this in together, I call it pulling the rope versus pushing the rope or casting. So imagine this club is a rope instead of a golf club. And at any point in the swing, I want to just take the angle that this rope would be at, and I want to feel like I'm yanking that almost like it's a lawnmower chain. So imagine this is a rope tied to my lawnmower. It's floating up here in the sky somewhere. And I'm going to be pulling that rope out of the lawnmower to try to feel like I'm starting the lawnmower there. Now this is kind of a weird feeling. Most players, when they get to the top, they want to throw the club out like this to try to generate speed. The last thing you've probably ever felt in your golf swing is that you're pulling the club this way to start your downswing, but that's the real sensation that you should be having. So go to the top of the swing. Now I'm pulling that rope. Well, as I start to come down the arc, my club is naturally going to start to kick out a little bit all on its own, just because my hands are swinging on a circle like that. As I get a little farther out, again, now the lawnmower's over here, here's the rope, I feel like I'm pulling down. As I get a little farther down here, now the rope's going this way and I'm pulling forward. As I get down to contact, the momentum of this club is slinging it toward the ground. If I did nothing else, that would slam into the ground, and I'm actually pulling that rope up and in. That's why you see players clear their hips. That's why you see players clear their chest out of the way. They get long arms versus that kind of chicken wing, which would be pushing the rope across my body. So at every point in the downswing, I feel like I'm pulling the club the direction that the club shaft is pointing. Like I'm going to pull this grip right off the club face. And as momentum builds up, that's going to sling the club right through the golf ball. So here, notice how I'm very relaxed. I let the club set, my wrist and my elbow tuck, and then from there, I just feel like I'm going to pull the grip off the club, and it just kind of slingshots through contact. So I'm going to go very, very soft here, and you're going to see I still get a lot of speed. Even that one wasn't the best hit, 180 carry distance with a 6-iron, not bad. Now I'm going to ramp it up a little bit more, and the sensation I'm going to have here is very late in the swing. I'm going to make sure one thing. I want to make sure my rope isn't pointing this way at last parallel. So as my hands are in front of my right leg, this club shaft's parallel to the ground, I do not want to have the club or that rope going this way. Every good player, no matter if they're playing a draw or a fade, that rope is coming from the inside, and now I'm just going to yank that rope up and around my body. So I'm still going to go smooth, but you'll see as I get that club from the inside, now all of a sudden I can get a lot of speed without looking like a lot of effort. There we go. Very nice and solid on that one. 204 total, or carry distance, 212.6 total distance with a 6-iron. And it didn't look like I had to go at it very hard doing that because I was being very efficient with what my right arm was doing and delivering it from the inside. Now here's the problem. Almost every player is going to struggle with that pulling idea. And the reason is we've all been taught to square up the club face by rolling our forearms. So as our forearms release over top of each other like this, my right arm turns over my left forearm. That causes me to release the club and start to throw it out like this, and it wouldn't be that lag and pulling motion like I just described. I call the solution to that move the anti-roll method. And in the anti-roll method, I teach you to square it up like the pros. We're going to get that arm tucked in, we're going to have tons of lag, and even though the arms aren't rolling over each other, look at this club face. It's square to the target, even though the hands haven't rolled over each other. That's what the pros are doing, and that's what you should be doing too if you want to get tons of lag and shallow this club out versus starting to get steep in the downswing and losing all your lag. I'm going to play a preview of my anti-roll method video. All you need to do is go ahead and click the card that pops up somewhere on your screen. If you don't see one of those cards, don't worry, just go down to the description below and you can click the link there to get instant access to this video. I can't wait to share with you this anti-roll method, get your arms working the right way once and for all so that you can have tons of lag, you can hit the ball great, and you can look really, really smooth and effortless as you're doing it. Let's go ahead and get started. I can't wait to share with you the anti-roll method. So here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep, and that steep club causes all your problems. It causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strike. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this, there's really only 2 pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here, I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,